Our next theme, our next topic is preaching Christ. And the theme we have today is, have you counted the cost of following Jesus Christ? Or I can just say for simple, counting the cost. Text we will read from the book of Mark chapter 8, Mark chapter 8, Mark 8, verse 36, 37, and Matthew 16, verse 26, and Luke 9, verse 25. Mark 16, verse 26, verse 37, 30, Mark 8. I said Mark 8. Mark 8, verse 36, 37 says what? For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange of me? What shall a man give in exchange for his soul? You see? And Matthew 16, verses 26. 26 says, for what is a man profited? What is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? That is the same as Mark. We can see these two books, they're just saying the same thing, and the same message is asked, the same question is asked for us who are believers now today. And we should be very careful because times are perilous. Now let us read also in Luke 9, verse 25. Luke 9, verse 25 says, for what is a man advantaged if he gain the whole world and lose himself or be cast away? You see, these three books, they are talking of the same thing. It is a text that is asking us a question. For what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul? For what will a man give in exchange for his soul? Let us make our text as personal as possible. I want to ask you like this. For what shall it profit you? You and me. What shall it profit you? For what shall it profit or gain you? What shall it profit you to gain the whole world and forfeit your soul? What shall you give in exchange for your soul? Here we see Jesus addressing this question to you, not to someone else. You know, not to someone you love. It's not addressing to anyone that you love, not to someone else that you know, not to someone you have been praying for. He's addressing to you and me. He's addressing to a specific person, you and me. So when you look at this, there are three truths you should grasp here. The terrific worth of each soul and the tragic waste of a lost soul. The terrific worth of a soul, that is point number one. Point number two is a tragic waste of a lost soul. And number three, the tremendous warfare for every soul, including yours and me, you and me, including yours personally. That is, I said, we shall look at as a personal viewpoint, you and me. The terrific worth of every soul and a tragic waste of every soul, and also the tremendous warfare for every soul, including yours. First, let us look at this: the terrific worth. You see, the terrific worth of your soul. How do we decide how valuable something is? We generally determine value by five words that begin with D. 5 words that begin with D. Design. We'll value an item by the design it was made of. Who made this particular item? That is the question you need to ask yourself. Who made that item, that vehicle? People ran to buy that vehicle. Who made it? The designer. Who is responsible for its existence? Who is responsible for the existence of that item that is of that high value? You see, you have to understand that. Example, paintings. Who painted that house? Who is the designer of your soul? You have to ask that question. Who made it? Who made your soul? Ecclesiastes 12, verse 7. Let us look at it. You have to read and see. Ecclesiastes 12. Ecclesiastes 12. Ecclesiastes 12, verse 7. What does it say? What does it tell us? 12, verse 7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. You see, this verse here, Ecclesiastes 12, verse 7, the human body is made of dust and goes back to dust at death. However, the human spirit then becomes the property of God. That if redeemed, it will go to heaven. If that spirit has been redeemed, it will go to heaven. You see? It will go to heaven. You can also read Second Corinthians chapter 5, verse 8, Philippians 1, 21 to 24, Hebrews. You see, all these things, you have to understand what we are meaning here, that your soul is like that valuable item. And you have to understand who made it, who is the designer. And now you have to understand everything, and you have also to be reading this, doing your own research to know if it is unredeemed. If that soul is not redeemed, at the end time, it is going to hell. As you read in Isaiah 14 verse 9 and Luke 16 verse 19 to 31, you can read those where the end will be. D number 2, second D, demand. We speak of demand. This item is on demand. You find it speaks of the law of supply and demand. Is there any demand for the item under consideration? If there is no demand, then the price is low. But if there's a higher demand, then the price is high. It is heightened. Does anyone want it? May have cost a great deal to produce it, but if no one wants it, it is worthless. You see that? It is worthless. The item becomes worthless. What are people willing to pay for it? You have also to look at the price. What are people willing to pay for the item that you have made? So apply it now to your soul. What was God's will? What was God's will? What was God willing to pay for it, for your soul? You see, how is it valuable that someone is willing to pay for your soul? Look to the blood drenched at Calvary. Angalia hiyo damu iliyomwagika pale Calvary. Ilimwagika kwa sababu ya nini? Because of your soul. To redeem it, it needed blood. Now, also when you read John 3:16, it says, "For God so loved the world so much that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life." So, brothers, the price is so high that means the demand is also high. D number 3 is durability. How durable is the item? How long will the item last? Whether we talk of a house or a car or a cloth, we want to know how long it will last, how long it will stay, how long shall you be in possession of it, how long will your soul last. It is forever. You see, if that soul has been relieved, it is going to live forever. It will last forever. There is no end. And that is the plan of God for your soul. Fourth D is development of the determined value. I refer to the potential of an item. What can you do with it? What can you do with that item? What is your soul's potential? What does God have in mind for it? God wants to restore to you what Adam lost and more. John wrote in 1 John chapter 3, verse 1 and 2. John said, in effect, I don't know everything about what we are going to be, but I know this, we are going to be like Jesus Christ at the end time. D number 5 is a word seldom used today? Death, death, is it used today? No, people don't use it. A synonym is sarcasm, sarcasticity. The value of something is determined by how rare it is. The value of gold is primarily a result of the scarcity. Gold is not common. It is very expensive. That is why you find it's not easy to get it. It's very expensive to find gold. Diamonds are treasures mainly because they are more rare than other gems. Your soul is unique. There is only one. You, and you will never be another. There's only one you. There will be no other you. It's only you and you. There will be no two Freds, two Johns. No, it's only you. You see, something very funny. If you go to these people of the government authorities, they take your fingerprints. Each one has his own ID and his own fingerprints. There is no one that will have the same fingerprint as yours. No, nothing. Your hand is a very good example here. You cannot have the fingerprints that are resembling yours in the whole world. So it's only you and you alone. So your soul is unique. If you perish, you perish. If you are redeemed, you are redeemed. And it's for eternity. Eternally, you will live redeemed. That's why I say it's only one you. It is terrific what is proven by fire. The decider demand durability and development and the earth. The tragic waste. Let us return to our text. Mark 8:36. First, let me tell you two truths about gaining the whole world. Even if you gain the whole world, you could not keep it. Even if you have the whole world, you will not keep it. You will not have it eternally. Even if you become the richest man in the world, when you die, people ask, how much did he leave? You see? How much did this Okobo leave? This is terrible. People, oh my brothers, I want you to see and understand these things. Because when you die, people will not ask, oh my how is this son? No, they only ask, how much did he leave? The answer is, he left all. Even if you could have the whole world, whole wealth, it could not satisfy you. The world does not have the power to satisfy the soul. Only God can satisfy your soul. Only God can satisfy your soul. Now let me tell you four truths about forfeiting your soul. If you lose your soul, the loss will be irreplaceable. That is number one. You cannot replace your soul with anything else. You can replace worn out clothes. If you lose your soul, you cannot get another soul. It is permanent loss. That loss, number two, that loss will be irreversible. Hebrews 9 verse 29. It will be irreversible. Hear me. The day after you die, you cannot say, I have changed my mind. When you stand before God on the judgment day, the loss, number 3, the loss will be immeasurable. You cannot estimate the loss or measure the tragedy. Verse 4, the loss will be inexcusable. God, in His providence, has given you and me this passage to think and consider, to sober you in regarding the direction of your life, the tremendous warfare. One final truth should be mentioned. We have reached the latter part of our text. For what will a man give in exchange for his soul? Mark 8:27. A cosmic warfare is being waged. All the time. Ephesians 6 verse 10 to 17 speaks graphically concerning that battle. The object of that warfare is to conquer souls, including yours. The devil is saying, stop listening to this Okomol. The devil is saying that stop listening to this Okomol. Don't believe or trust in Jesus and his sacrifice. Don't confess your faith to him. At the same time, the Lord is standing at the door of your heart. Revelation 3:20 is standing at the door of your heart, knocking. You decide the destiny of your soul. Conclusion. I have to conclude my text here by saying that please put your soul at the hands of your gracious God today. Today, not tomorrow. Today and now is the time. Today, this is the day of your salvation. Put your soul unto Christ, unto your gracious God. He is merciful and gracious. He will deliver you. Hebrews 5, 8 to 11, 8 and 9, and Mark 16:16. Remember, don't always go according to the pattern of this world. Follow the ways of your Master, Jesus Christ. Be redeemed by the Most High God. Stand by His ways. Thank you and welcome again.